Hello viewers, hello guys. Welcome back to our channel. Welcome back to a new episode of our channel. So guys, today will be a different thing, not our usual vlog, family vlog, because I said to use today to talk about something important. So guys, it's like this that most stories that we'll hear of immigrants, it always ends most times with bad story. So I want to bring a an immigrant success story to you guys. So today I was so lucky to get hold of Oga at the top. So he's here today.
Hello.
So I would love him to help me and answer some questions regarding this immigrant success story in Europe. So I have some questions written down here. Are you ready? That I'll be asking you.
God help me. I'm ready. Mm.
Okay. So we'll discuss a little, ask some questions, and you will help to advise our viewers on some things that you think that is necessary for them to know about how to achieve this success. So without wasting much time, let's dive into the video. So guys, we are starting first with the first question. Why did you leave Nigeria and why did you choose Sweden? That's the first question because we live in Sweden.
Mm. Well, leaving Nigeria wasn't. Uh, Most people leave Nigeria, leave their domain for different reasons.
Mm,
But my leaving Nigeria wasn't a comfortable one
okay.
because you know how things. I know how things were in Nigeria, and I know how difficult it was for my mother. My mother raised me and my siblings, alone. So even before I left Nigeria, we were living with people. We were squatting in my auntie's house. So to tell you how bad it were or it was, so it wasn't an easy part. So I had to think outside the box because knowing Nigeria is a very competitive society in the sense that even with your grade in school, it's very difficult to find something good to do because you have to know somebody and then have a godfather that is ready to support you. So during those days, I had nobody that is in that position. So that made me to, like I said, I thought outside the box, started to start browsing. So while others using the cyber cafe for other different reasons. I have friends then who were using the cyber cafe for doing other negative things. You know, I chose to use that cyber cafe to source information, source schools,
Legit way.
in a good way, so that I can be able to get that visa. So I didn't choose Sweden. Sweden was an option that came because I found out there are, I cannot afford to pay tuition. So I had two options: either to get a scholarship admission or to get tuition-free school. So I tried a scholarship program in Netherlands. It didn't turn out well. My cousin, who was in Netherlands then, helped me with information. So that one didn't work out. So I tried. I was browsing all through. Then I got to know that Sweden offers tuition free too. So I targeted Sweden. I did the necessary application, and I was lucky. I got admission. So during the time of visa, I had to apply for visa, and unfortunately, I was denied. You know, that denial struck me badly. I had to make an appeal. So during the time of my appeal, it wasn't like I had to gather what they were looking for. So what I appealed was still similar to what I used to do the admission.
It's not that you give them a different story or
what
something.
do I have to give them? I have nothing. So I had to just think smart and maneuver some things, do some things differently, but the same papers, the same document, the same application. So I lost hope while waiting. It wasn't automatic.
Like I recall, the appeal is not something that when you put the application, it comes like 1 month or 2 months. It takes a long time before
it takes time. Normally when you apply, they give you when you appeal, they give you 6 months to 1 year, to wait for their judgment.
Yeah.
Because appeal is no more decided in Nigeria. Then they have to bring it to Sweden. So you see, the Swedish Migration Court, the court in Sweden here that determines
takes the
decision on the appeal. So all those things, they have a lot of appeal to take care of. So it takes time. So while waiting, I lost hope, to be honest. When you remember that you did the same thing, the same, another time.
Yeah, you just put it, let it be that you did not just
throwing my last card to see if it works. But inside me, I was thinking it's not going to work, But I didn't stop praying, and I was telling God, I could have done something negative. I could have followed my friends to do, those things that are, already in that time. People were picking money.
Of course, would have used it to pick cash.
People were doing Yahoo on the internet, making money. But I told God I didn't want to choose that path. Please help me. You're the only help. No godfather, no uncle. People who are supposed to help, all of them disappointed. So in that situation, it's only God you run to. So I ran to him and I was praying.
And he didn't disappoint.
Luckily, I got the appeal, at the 9th hour or 11th hour. You see, so the fact that the miracle there is that the woman who took the decision called me from Sweden. Called me, called my Nigerian number then, and I said, "Mister, you are now. You're now ready. You should be ready to come to Sweden now. You have been granted your appeal. The appeal is granted now. So you go to the embassy and collect your visa." And I will say the reason why she called was the time I had was not so much. In fact, I came to Sweden about 3 days before my school starts. So she know that I had no much time. She had to. God used her. It's a lot to inform me. So I didn't choose Sweden. Sweden was an option.
That was available.
Available because I had no money to pay for admission.
Other places.
I had nothing more to do.
Yeah.
I had no other hope. It was only Sweden then that was my available choice. So I took it.
So it was quite an interesting story. So the next question, because I told you I have a lot of questions. The next question I'll be asking you is, what did you experience as an immigrant when you arrived Sweden without knowing anyone? Because I know you don't have any brother, you don't have any sister, you don't have any friend that you know in Sweden when you arrived here in Sweden. So what was your first experience?
It wasn't a funny experience. I already told you the way I came. I came like someone who's running. So with all my big boxes, nobody gave me information. This is how you should come. Nobody told me to carry a goosey or bono. Nobody told me to carry crayfish and oporoko, dry fish. Nobody, no information. So all I had was to pack all my, clothes from Nigeria. Tattered ones, the ones
I will even end up not using it.
I packed everything, The ones I thought is my best clothes, I packed all of them. My boxes were full. So I had to arrive Sweden. I arrived in February, and that was the middle of winter. Everywhere was white. That was the first horrible experience I got.
Can imagine. I hope you had a jacket with
I didn't have jacket, unfortunately. I was wearing my white shirt, with my canvas and my
Ordinary
jean.
shirt.
Ordinary shirt. I don't.
This one, you'll be walking on the street and be crying at the same time.
The excitement was that I'm coming abroad, so I didn't had time again to start sourcing for how is the weather in Sweden. I didn't have that time. The excitement, I was full of excitement that I'm going abroad, so I had my shirt and my jean and my canvas, and I started feeling that cold when we left Nigeria. Throughout the night, it was cold inside the plane. I was lucky they were giving towels. I used towels to cover myself.
Yourself.
And then I said, okay, because of the AC in the plane. And then when I now landed,
You now saw the one that passed AC.
Our first stop was Amsterdam. I looked outside. Amsterdam it wasn't snowing in Amsterdam, so just that it was looking so cold.
Yeah.
Because I was inside the airport, I had no problem too. But then when I arrived Sweden, there was when hell broke
You
loose.
understand what
Everywhere was thick snow, white snow. The canvas I was using wasn't even leather. It was foam. All this foamy canvas we get in Okrika in Nigeria. So my stepping into that snow, it became wet immediately. See, so stepping outside with my canvas, my feet became soaked immediately. Everywhere was white, very, very cold. It was around -10. Very cold.
Yeah.
I ran into the airport again. I was forced to buy a jacket at the airport.
And that should be you using the part of money that you even saving that you use here in Sweden.
My uncle in America sent me some money. So the money I had was the money that would sustain me for 1 month or two before I can, I will get a job according to what he explained to me. So part of the money I bought jacket from the money to cover myself first, and from that money I took a taxi. I told the taxi man to drop me at the closest airport to the school, closest hotel to the school. So I slept 2 nights at the hotel while sourcing for information. It was a long story. To cut it short, I met a Nigerian student who now asked me, "Are you new?" I said yes. He said, "Where are you?" I said, I'm lodging at this hotel." He said, "What? Do you know how much you are paying at that hotel?" That hotel is the cost of your accommodation for 1 month. You are spending it on a night in the hotel. I said, "What can I do?" He said, "Pack your bag. Go and bring your bag now. Follow me. Nigerians abroad are trying."
So some of them, not the story that we always hear that sometimes when we meet our people abroad, they don't help. Some people help.
Yeah, it depends on who you meet.
Yeah.
And that has to do with how prayerful you are. Because I believe stepping outside outside the place where you were born to a place that you don't know, you really need favor from God.
Yeah.
So I prayed seriously. So I met a good person who helped me, took me out from the hotel, brought me to Nigerian student home, where they had to immediately they begin to assign me to where I have to squat. So I had to be with some people paying my monthly fee, house rent.
Yeah.
They started to showing me the school, what I'm supposed to do, and that is how I became a student. But it wasn't easy because the place I went was a small village.
And now that we are saying just the first hurdle of coming into Sweden and the first experience that you had.
Yes.
So you have not gotten into the main story.
No.
Okay.
But when I came, they were asking me, "Where is Egusi? Where is Obono? Where is crayfish? Is the only clothes that you came with? And you have full box. You don't even need all these things. Go and throw them away." So go and throw those clothes away. You don't need them. You don't need those things. This thing cannot even help you. Yeah, go and throw them away. Oh, you have to go and buy pot. You have to go and buy food stuff. Now you didn't come with food. Then you have to go and buy spaghetti. It wasn't easy. Karlskrona, there was no job in that town.
So it's a small
village.
Yeah.
The Nigerians and the Africans who are there, immigrants who are there, they have to share the jobs. One person who has the job will tell you, "Okay, I'll do for 1 week. I will do the work for 1 week. Then the other person will say, I'll do it the next week. The other person will say, I'll do it the next. So they were sharing jobs they have, they had that time. So one person, will be so helpful, allow his job to go around one week, so that somebody can,
Other people
when
can see
you do 1 week,
substitution.
then you raise some money, use that money to sustain yourself for another 1 month. So it wasn't easy.
I can imagine.
So that's what others, students are doing, and this is generally what students pass through
Yeah.
when they leave the shores of Africa, especially.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Understand.
your people back home will be expecting you to start sending money without knowing that you're still
Trying
in a
to
very
survive.
difficult situation.
Yeah. I
So,
understand. So we'll be coming to our next question. It'll be like, I know that you have you as a person has owned two companies here in Sweden and still running them, and you have achieved a lot here in Sweden. God has used you to bring a lot of people to this Sweden, both your family members and some friends here in Sweden, and you have helped many of them as well. So, and you have achieved quite a lot with the short time that you came. I know that there's some people that came at the same time with you. They have not really achieved or gotten to the heights that you are now,
even before me.
or even before you. They have not really gotten to the heights that you have now, because I know that you are this kind of person that don't like working for someone. So you made it clear from the onset. You started hustling your own way, and you have earned two companies here in Sweden. So I want to know, how were you able to get to that success with all this story, coming to Sweden with nothing?
Well, like you said, you cannot achieve success without giving God that glory. God was behind me and was in front of me, so I'll give him all that credit. And then there is a difference in living Nigeria as an ordinary person, or someone who come from a rich home, and than living Nigeria as a lion. After all I have been through, and all and the situation my family were, I had to leave Nigeria as a lion, knowing that I have a lot of people behind me who are dependent on me. So my going there was to make a difference and to take my people or my family out of poverty. So that changed my mindset. It gave me a different mindset, a different motive, so that I must succeed, but not in a bad way, in a positive way. I have to work hard to do things right and make a difference in my family. And so, and I came, I started asking, like I said, I started asking friends when I arrived here, how is it possible to get a job? Because actually I worked, first 6 months I came here, I was working for people. And then I saw the way, the work is. I said, no, this is not what I have to be. This is not what I dream for. I need to be my own boss. So that motive was in me to become my own boss. So I went, searching for it. While my friends were telling me, you don't need to belong in that part now, you just came. I didn't listen to that. My motive was to become my own boss, so I started asking questions on how to become my own boss. So I went to the Skatteverket, Swedish tax office, and I inquired. I got information how to create a company in Sweden. So I started working for that. becoming a boss on myself, how to create a company. I wasn't scared because I knew I can do it. So that courage was in me. That drive was in me to succeed. And that was how I started asking friends how it's going to be possible to be able to create the company by myself. Before I went to the tax office, I asked friends about it, and they were telling me you cannot do it. Oh. One was telling me no, it's not possible. You have to have papers first. You have to get papers, and then have a passport. The other one said no, you must have a white woman that will be working for you, going around getting the job. They were telling me different things. That time it was a bit discouraging, but I didn't give up, and I will not say that I blame them for it. So that was the level they were operating. I don't blame them then. I didn't blame them, but when they keep advising me, I was telling myself, how can I associate with people who don't think big like I do? So I chose to become alone. I went to Swedish tax office. I asked them, how do someone become a company owner? And they listed everything to me. And I looked at it, I said, well, I can do this. The only problem I had was language. I had to, for you to fit in, in this system, Sweden, you need to know their language very well, which
Very, very
I
important.
don't know. But I still did not lose hope. So when I'm writing advertisement, what I can do, instead of writing in Swedish, I write in English. The Swedish people, they have some high level of understanding in English too. So the ones who God wanted to bring to me, they come as customers. I started working for them as my own boss, and then from there I started getting more experience, how to deal with Swedish people, how to work here, how to pay taxes, what to do and what not to do. So it wasn't easy. Any of those steps were not easy steps. It took took courage. It took determination.
Perseverance.
It took perseverance, sacrifice, a lot of sacrifice to achieve. And to do this, I had to have a license, driving license. I don't have. The one I have was Nigerian license, and I was using it until the police stopped me on the way. I didn't know. They told me, "Oh, when did you come?" I told them, "I say, you have only 2 months left. You don't need to use the license again." You see, so as a Nigerian, as an immigrant, if you come with your local license, you're allowed to use it 1 year, of which after you will have to, get the Swedish license. So during those period, I was using my local license from Nigeria, and I was told by the police, and they told me that I knew I had no much time. I started sourcing for Swedish license. I also went to those friends again. Do you know how to get license? They was say, oh, why you this man? What are you talking? You want to get license? You need to have paper first. You need to find a Swedish woman. You need to find somebody. So they started telling me different things. You need to have documents. You need to have a Swedish woman that will help you. You need to have this and that. I got. After telling me that I wanted, I got discouraged at the point. I said no. If they told me that I couldn't, have a company on my own, I went and got the information, and I'm seeing I can do it. Why not try to get information about license? I called the licensing office. Can I get a license as a student? They say yes, you can get it once you have your,
Student number.
not the social
Social
security number.
security.
You can have it. Do you have it? I say yes, I have. They say come, we'll give you information. They listed everything to me. I started, working towards the license, and I got license before all of them. I was the one that opened my mates. I opened their eyes. I made them know it was possible as a student to get license. Even people who came before me, I was able to get license before them because that was vital to my business. That was important. Without it, I was not able to run the business without that. So the license was very helpful. God gave me that too. So I got the license. What I will say that contributed to my success today is being fearless and working, instead of you to work with people who don't think the way you think, it's better you walk alone.
100%.
Because if I had followed people who believe nothing is impossible, not everything is impossible, except you get paper, or you have white women, or you have the language. If I had followed them, I couldn't achieve anything. I could not have done anything. But I had to quietly, politely leave that circle, and then started walking alone. I started making friends with Swedish people who were ready to give me information.
The information that you need.
And not to avoid my brothers or sisters here, but I wasn't going to them now for information or advice. I only come to them when there is something to celebrate. I can come and celebrate with them, but then I don't mingle so much because I know they couldn't help me, or they were not able to help. Not that they don't want to, but the level they operate, the level they operate is too low for me to hang on to. So that was what achieved to my success. And you cannot say success without being disciplined. You have to give yourself standards, what not to do and what to do. Because that, I would say, was how I was able to get to the level I am today. I'm still climbing, asking God to bless us more. But today I will not say that I'm suffering. I'm not suffering. I've achieved a lot, and it's all to the glory of God and to the standard I set for myself. So that is what I can say that contributed to my success today.
That's nice. So we have our next question. Probably that will be the last before you give them the advice, if you have any advice to give to our viewers. So the last question will be like, what did you do different that made you succeed? And now I know you said everything, but I want you to hit those, even if it's 2 or 3 points that you think this is what you would say that I did that were different from what others did. Maybe people that did not, I will not say they did not succeed, because success means different things for different people. So what did you think that you did different than what other people did?
So what I did differently, I have said it before, but let me specify it like you want. I would say that I was focused in, and being focused will not I will not be that focused without choosing my circle.
Right.
So I chose the right circle. I decided to walk alone instead of working with people who are not beneficial to me. And that is why in Sweden today, you can notice now, I don't have so many friends here.
But the ones you have
But the ones I have are quality people. People that will benefit from each other. People that think the way I think. So that was number one. Number two was that I gave myself standards. I chose my do's and my don'ts. I decided to discipline myself, not doing what others are doing. Because for me to get something that is extraordinary, I need to do extraordinary things too. I need to discipline myself. So I avoided jumping in clubs. I avoided drinking. I avoided smoking. I avoided going after women. I became focused on my goals. And then I was a Jew man because I wasn't going out with beautiful women. I had none. But
You later married
but
a beautiful one.
today I'm married to a beautiful woman.
Are you going out
See now, and my wife is more beautiful than all their wives. So I chose my target and I hit the target. And then I cannot, take prayers out of it. I pray a lot, knowing that is my source of power. I was a very powerful prayer person, and I'm still is. And then I will now say that I create time for meditation. Most people don't have it here. People are so engaged that they don't think about their life. So each night before I sleep, I must think about what I will achieve the next day. So I make a plan for myself, how my next day. I make plans on how my next day, before I sleep any night, I have to think about the next day, how it's going to be. So I jot, I write down my plans, and I make sure I achieve them. So these are the few things I believe I did, and they're not few. There's powerful things, because as a person on my standard that time, these are the things that are the most difficult things to do away with. But I had to discipline myself to do them, to be able to succeed. So that's all I can say that I did differently.
Okay. So that was a good one, and it's a very good advice. And most important, what I picked here is that in all this struggling, you never thought of maybe going into the fast way like every other young person would do. Since back home, you know where you're coming from, you know you had a lot of responsibility. You chose instead to go to the right way to make a living. So that's a very good one. So without talking too much, I would like you to round up by, if do you have any advice that you would like to give, or what you would like to suggest to maybe other young people that are planning to travel, that are planning to become immigrants in some other country, or already there but they are still struggling to find their way? So do you have any advice that you can give?
Well, I will focus my advice mostly on people who are on their way coming. So if you are already here, or if you're on your way leaving Africa, or living as an immigrant, the first thing you have to do is to bear in mind that money is not made by being fast. Money or being successful is not by being fast. It is by being calculative. Set out your goals and don't be distracted about them. Because it wasn't difficult for me. It wasn't difficult for me to choose the wrong path when I came. I could have chose to be a drug dealer, selling drugs in the street. I could have made more, a lot of money. But I didn't. Maybe I would not be free today. I could have been in jail. I have friends who are in jail today.
Or maybe end up losing your life.
Exactly. So that is one powerful advice I have to give people who are coming. Don't think about being fast to get that money. When you come here, even though we all come with pressure on our back, be disciplined. Don't allow that pressure maybe to make money quick and start helping your people. Don't allow that pressure to put you into thinking of making money on a fast lane. It's very, very dangerous, because when you are caught, if anything happens to you, those people you are thinking about will live their life. Or maybe they will die because of what happened to you.
The news,
so you yourself, your future will be jeopardized. So the best thing is hard work, being focused on prayers. There's nothing we cannot achieve. So if you can follow that step, that is my advice I'll give anyone. Don't be distracted. When you come to this environment that I am today, it should have been a period for me to say, wow, it's time for enjoyment, time for clubbing, time for smoking, time for drinking, snapping pictures and posting, enticing women. But I didn't do that because I knew I have time to do it. So everything has its time. Be focused. Get what you want first before you start seeking for what else to enjoy, you know. And then don't allow pressure to distract you from achieving, building yourself first. If you build yourself as that pillar, then
The building will have
it
a
will not,
strong
you cannot be shaken, cannot be moved.
Of course.
You have to build yourself strongly, powerfully. Then that your help can start doing wonders wherever you position it. So that is the advice I'm giving to our people who are just come or who are on their way coming. Know where you come from and set a goal on where you are going. So that is my advice.
Thank you so much for answering these questions, for taking out your time to answer all these questions. We appreciate you. So, guys, this will be the end of this section. And, guys, please, if you love this kind of video and if you have loved what you've watched now, please do your girl a favor, hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you get notified anytime we upload new video. Please subscribe to our channel and share this video so you can help someone by sharing this video. The person might get this information and the person's life will be transformed. So thank you a lot for watching, and like I said, don't forget to share, like, and comment. Leave your comments down below so we can get back to you. Put your own suggestion. If you have a story like this that you would like to share, contact me. Just write something on the comments. We'll plan it. Or you can even write on the comment section so some people can also read and learn from your own story as well. And from time to time, we'll put stories like this so people will learn from that as well. So guys, thanks a lot for watching. So we'll upload next video, and bye. Have a nice day.
I think about you when I should be sleeping.